Drove and see the nightlife where they call Atlanta. Southside shows for a couple dollars, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy holidays. Thank you for joining us. This is the Brew Party Podcast, episode number 43, a very special episode. I'm joined by a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, a good podcasting friend of mine. I just told him he has a million job titles, so let's go through it. So Ryan Smith, Smitty2447, co-host of CFG Gamecast, Lan Parties Podcast, Twitch streamer for the Las Vegas Inferno, content and video specialist for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, actor, voice actor. Ryan, am I missing anything?
I think you got everything there, man. That was fantastic.
Well, you are fantastic. I can't thank you enough for joining me, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. You know, I actually officially went on vacation here on Tuesday. I've worked today and yesterday, so I'm done now. So like I'm finally starting to feel like I'm in vacation mode. Other than that, though, just staying healthy. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be working throughout all this situation. So you know, the family's doing well. So considering the circumstances, doing pretty good, brother. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You know, same thing. Considering the circumstances, we're good to go. You know, it's going to be a little different this year, not seeing everybody or spending as much time as possible with everybody. But, you know, as we're doing what we can. So I'm currently unemployed myself, but hopefully getting back to that soon. You know, over here in Illinois, we're still kind of shut down and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be able in 2021 to go back to work and be, you know, normal. But it's been nice. I've been able to spend a lot of time with my son. I've actually been able to game a lot and do a lot of podcasting stuff, which is awesome. So that's been great to have that extra time. But, you know, excited to get back to work whenever that is. But do you have any special holiday plans out there?
Doing nothing. Like you, though, like, you know, my parents typically come out here and we were just like, you know what, it's not worth the risk. Just chill. You know, we can get on. Again, this is where with technology and stuff like that, we do have the ability to at least, you know, whether it be virtually, still spend that time, be able to see those faces and have experiences and stuff like that. So right now it's just basically been hunkered down. You know, I feel like I'm starting to feel a little bit. I need to focus on getting outside a little more, being a person, putting on real pants. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, dude.
All I do is I leave the house to go to the grocery store or go get beers or something like that. Like, there's nothing. But I mean, it's been nice, you know, just to not have any responsibilities. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt every day. I'd only have to go outside to walk my dog or like I said, the grocery store and shit like that. But one thing I wanted to get into, so you're a Western Illinois grad.
Yes. I was wondering what part of Illinois you're at, because my dad's up in Chicago. My mom's down by Peoria, but we grew up, we lived there from like 94. And then I left in 06 after college, after Western. Dude. So Illinois, I'm very familiar with, those are my old stomping grounds. I love that place.
So I'm in Champaign. So I'm Central Illinois. So I was born in Springfield and then I moved over to Champaign when I was 6 or 7, of second grade, so maybe 8. But yeah, so I've lived in Champaign ever since. And then you're actually like the 5th Leatherneck I've had on this podcast. So it might be
let's go WIU.
Yeah. So my buddy Grant Baker is a grad assistant over there currently for the basketball team. And then my buddies that do the You Hate to See It podcast are also Leatherneck grads. So you go there, you spend your time in Macomb. And then you go, was it straight to Vegas from Macomb? Can you talk to me a little bit about that transition? Because those are two wildly different places.
They are, but we always had a plan. My roommate that I was randomly roomed with my freshman year, he was like, hey, man, how about after we graduate, we move to Vegas? Absolutely. We stuck to the plan. I went back to Peoria after I graduated, or by Peoria. Right. I actually went to Farmington. And I lived in Trivoli. But went back. I worked there for about 3 months, got in at a TV station, WEEK, in Peoria. And, after 3 months, I was like, all right, I'm packing my stuff up. My mom was like, well, why don't you just stay? It's like, no, I'm doing this. Yeah. I packed up my 96 Chevy Cavalier as much as I could. And him and I drove out here, and I've been out here ever since.
Never looked back, man. So what's your favorite part about living in Vegas?
For me, I love the fact that it really is like a little big city. You know what I mean? It seems big, but I mean, again, if you know somebody, there's everybody knows everybody basically, or you run into people. It feels like such a small town, but at the same time, you've got like Mount Charleston, you've got all these gorgeous landmarks. You got Utah over there, with Zion and all kinds of other places. Arizona, California is right around the corner. So like, I love the proximity where you have that city and you can do that city stuff, but you can also get away. Cause I need to do that too at times. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just kind of step back. I'm very much, again, living in Illinois, I grew up in the country. So I very much love being in the country and having that space. That's what I miss, is not having that space. You guys, everybody's like jammed up, next to each other. It's like, give me a little breathing room, man. But yeah. So, that's, I love living out here though. This is a fantastic, city to live in.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about like your awesome shows, all this awesome content you put out. Like I mentioned, you were just a jack of all trades. So you're the co-host of the Lan Parties Podcast with our good buddy Lucas Egan. Can you tell me how you got involved in that? I mean, I know Lucas was on in September and he told the story that, he kind of went up to your guys' boss and said, hey, I kind of had this idea for a podcast. A couple months later, his boss brings you over. So I'd love to hear your side of that story.
Yes. So this is my side. So for me, and I had already been doing the CFG Gamecast, right? So it was something that a buddy of mine, Davis Green, we put together and we've been running it now. We just finished, we're on hiatus, but this is our second year of that show. Mm-hmm. I was previously the production manager at the ABC affiliate out here in Las Vegas. And there was somebody within the video department at the Las Vegas Review-Journal basically hit me up and said, hey, we've got this opportunity. What do you think? I'm not one to walk away from an opportunity. I'm going to at least hear it out. So we sat down and I'm kind of in a hybrid position. I work both on the editorial side and I work on the sales side and commercial producing and stuff. So I kind of went in with that in mind and how, what I'd be doing and whatnot. Probably about a week or so into starting that position, he was like, hey, I want you to meet Lucas. He likes video games and writes about video games. You guys should do a podcast. Yeah, I'd love to do a podcast. That'd be fantastic, So then it went from there into the brainstorming, developing the name, what's it going to be about, all that good stuff. But I was so fortunate. I mean, the great thing about Lucas is that he's such a good journalistic sense. He answers or asks fantastic questions, and he really is able to kind of dissect and really get behind the science, some of the science and stuff like that of video games, and especially when we're interviewing guests and stuff like that. Right. Just being able to come from a different angle that maybe somebody's not thinking of is fantastic. So to be able to bounce stuff off, and I get to talk about video games, right. You know what I mean, among other things. So doing LAN parties is only a part of my job. I'm also producing commercials, going out and shooting commercials, doing things for Real Estate Millions, putting together content and stuff like that, working with the editorial side on their switcher and stuff like that. Because again, I have a ton of years in traditional TV broadcasts. I started out as a prompter operator, then I learned audio, learned graphics, technical directing. I'm actually an Emmy nominated newscast director from that. So like, listen, I do some things.
I love that, man. So you could like just put together a whole production by yourself, just to star in your own one-man show, audio, content, production.
Am in my home studio. Studio here that I'm in right now, I have produced things out of here. And that's the beauty of technology, and that's kind of what I feel like especially with the pandemic, everybody had to shift to digital, and it really brought just a digital space into the spotlight and what you can do into the spot, into digital space. So again, this is terrible, but I was saying at the beginning of this, there's going to be silver linings and advancements and innovations that are going to come from this that we can take and move forward, and be able to do things more efficiently in a different way and stuff like that. So it's been huge. It's been it's been huge as far as with that. I'm sorry, I don't even know if I answered the question. I think I just started talking.
I mean, that's how I go. That's exactly what I do, brother. But so how has the whole pandemic affected your job then? So are you doing more of everything from home in this home studio then? Or are you doing lot less?
Everything is from home. Yeah. I have not been working in the office since mid-March when they sent us home. Again, we all went, this may be a couple of months or something like that. 10 months later, here we are, but again, I had, and this was on my own accord, just from things that interest me. And I didn't realize it, was already building a studio here. So being able to make a shift from there to here, I'm already doing this stuff. It wasn't, you know what I mean? As a matter of fact, things have increased for me. I've done some consulting. I've gone out and ran other people's live streams and stuff like that. I already had the skill set, and that was from me starting to stream on Twitch and being like, oh, people play video games and go live. Right. Let's check it out. Let's see what that's all. I love video games. It's just a reason for me to play more video games. So little did I know that step there would have such an impact, not only on me personally, but also professionally.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So was this like something you saw yourself getting into as far as the podcasting, like when you started your journey? I know you said you were doing TV production. So and then you talk about you joined the Gamecast, and then shortly after you start Lan Parties. Was podcasting the ultimate goal? I feel like that's the ultimate thing of 2020. You said your boss hey, you guys should start a podcast. It's like you and everybody else.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because podcasting is something I never even really thought about. And the crazy part, me getting into TV, my emphasis in college was actually sound production and radio, which was originally the direction I was going. Before I left, though, I saw kind of where I thought that the radio industry was going, and I felt like it was very much in the decline. I kind of shifted over, let me learn some of this TV stuff. But yeah, but still sound design and sound and stuff like that. So I'm not it wasn't something that was out of my scope, but it wasn't something that I had ever thought about. Me personally, I am a person that is always looking at opportunities. I want to make sure that I put myself into a position that if an opportunity comes, I can say yes, whether I know what the hell I'm doing or not. I'm going to say yes, probably. Because for me, it's always at least trying it out, seeing how far you can push yourself, because you never know. It may not be something. Again, I never thought I'd be having a podcast where I'm talking about video games.
Right.
But here we are. So you never really know, but you have to be willing to and open to opportunities. And that's all I feel that, a lot of the success in my life and both personally and professionally has just been being open to an opportunity that someone gave me, because that's all I need is an opportunity. The rest I could do.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about starting to stream. So you're a big time Twitch streamer, my guy. You got over 1,000 followers on there, and
I am not big time. I wish.
Come on, man. You're too kind. But you're also a streamer for the Las Vegas Inferno. How did you kind of get involved with the whole streaming thing? Was it really just you like, hey, I have all this equipment at home. I like playing games. Was it as simple as that? And then when did you get involved with the Inferno?
Yeah, so for me, and this was well before the equipment came because I started streaming. So originally I started streaming directly from PlayStation. And again, that was just literally because I had a pretty bad breakup where video games and my gaming time became an issue. So yeah, so that was the thing. So I was like, and again, I'm single now, so I'm just like, game all I want. That's all, you know what I mean? Like work, game. So that's what it was. Right. But again, it just basically came from that. And then from the support of my girlfriend and my parents, they started, they started getting me equipment and stuff like that. And then I started seeing what you could do. And that's where I started getting the connection that, wait a second, this is just broadcast. This is just TV, but your own channel. So I started looking at more in that respect. I already understood the back end stuff of how to build out a show, how to do things and whatnot. So now I'm just doing it on my own channel. So really that's it was a love for that and being able to play video games more that I really jumped into it. It was here, I want to say it was a couple years back now, where Hyro reached out to me about, at the time it wasn't Inferno. It was they had a different name, but again, there were events that happened, and they made a shift and whatnot. But the thing that was so appealing to me was, again, it was an organization that was really, kind of born and brought up in the community. He's got a vision. He sees that Vegas is going to be and is starting to turn into a gaming hub. They're building it out. They're throwing investments on the casino sector and gaming sector and stuff like that. So it's only a matter of time. You're starting to see it in hotels. And there's a Twitch lounge in the new Allegiant Stadium. I want to go there so bad. Look so clean and nobody's been able to go, dude. Just like, but that's there. So, I mean, the stuff is there. It's, again, it's kind of building that out. They're doing stuff. They're doing tournaments. I know that they've been building out more of a content team. Again, like so many other people, it really threw a wrench into what their plans were for 2020. Again, we actually had him on the show. The episode dropped today. That they made a shift doing digital community game nights and stuff like that. So it's nice to see that. But again, I understand that wanting to do so much, but kind of feeling like we're just here, like we're trying to do the best that we can and whatnot. So it's really getting something to click. But just being able to be a part of that. And again, I want to do more and be involved. Again, this so much is about a community thing and being able to connect as a community and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see, what the plans are for 2021, producing more content with them and helping to achieve those goals and really, bring more attention and stuff like that to the Las Vegas gaming scene.
Absolutely. So do you compete in esports events as well? Are you a competitive gamer or is it more so just for fun for you?
I'm terrible, man. I'm not terrible. I'm decent at games. I'm okay at games. I am not even close to the level that I don't have the time to practice that much. You know what I mean? That's but I love Overwatch. Huge Overwatch dude. But again, I couldn't compete. I couldn't compete with these people that are. I'm sitting there struggling in gold. So, but I have fun, and it is fun for me. So, for me, I would never be a competitor. I did do. No, hold on. I did do a Mario Kart tournament. I got my butt whooped. But I did do a Mario Kart tournament with the Inferno here earlier in the year, actually. But yeah, I just do it for fun. I enjoy. Again, I'm for me, it's talking with people, connecting with people, building relationships. There's so many talented people that are out there. A lot of the people that I'm collaborating now are people that I've met, in stream groups and things like that, though. So really, for me, once it clicked, just how people are meeting and connecting in this space, that's when it really made sense for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the community of Twitch is just taken off more than ever, I feel like, especially this year with everybody at home. And what would you say the key to a solid stream is, or a good stream? I mean, obviously you said you're not the best gamer. It's more about entertainment and kind of interaction then.
Absolutely. I think so. I mean, again, it really is what really floats your boat. What are you looking for? Because there's plenty of people that are just super crazy good at games. They don't have to say anything during their stream. Their chat's going so fast, I don't even know what they would say. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't keep up with it. So really, that's the beauty of a Twitch, and really not even just Twitch, but all of these social platforms. There is something for everybody. And not only is it just something that you can watch, now you're able to interact with these people. Now you're able to build relationships with these people. You'll meet other people from the community. I've got friends that are in relationships, that they've met, being in the community and stuff like that. It's amazing to even think that. And again, I'm on the older end of things. I'm 37, so right. I remember when there was no internet when we had internet and stuff like that. So like some of this stuff is still, because very much like growing up, like you don't talk to strangers on the internet. What are you talking about, man? Like that's just crazy talk. That's how you get kidnapped or something. Like, and now it's like, oh no, people are forming and building relationships and friendships. I've got long-lasting friendships that I've met from people that I've met online and then eventually end up meeting in person. For me, that's really what it's about. And I think that a lot of focus could be put into that area because people are really just looking to connect. And I feel like that's what a lot of it is about.
Absolutely. I love that point. And I feel like it can be the same could be said for podcasting. That's how I met Lucas is in one of the Facebook podcasting groups. And when we connected there, and I feel like he's one of my better podcasting friends that I made, and never met him before, just messaged back and forth. But he's just you can just tell even through then, he's just such a genuine and nice dude that it's just awesome. I can't wait for hopefully to get out to Vegas sometime.
Yes.
And hook up with you guys, grab a drink, play a couple games or something like that. But yeah, I've just been able to meet so many people through this platform, and even it takes me back to the old Xbox Call of Duty days. Just those lobbies were just insane. Just some terrible things being said on those. But I know
much has changed.
Nothing has changed. That's still what I play now. So what are kind of your favorite games, I guess, to play and stream? Do you have games that you'd rather, play on your own? Or
I absolutely do. Yeah. I absolutely. So that's one thing about me, and I don't stream really that often technically. And this is a newer schedule that I'm working on implementing. But for over the last 2.5 years, I've only streamed twice a week on my channel. And then we stream separately on the CFG Gamecast channel. For me, it's not complete. And I know there's a lot of people that'll throw themselves completely in. They're doing 4 or 5, 6 days a week. Twitch really isn't the place to build an audience, to get people to come in and stuff like that. You should utilize other platforms to do that stuff. And not only that, but again, I feel like a lot of it is if you're able to give value to people, people are going to be interested to check out what you're doing. So that's what a lot of it is about, is being able to provide some sort of value to something, whether it's something that you say, something that you do, your personality, how you make you feel, you know what I mean? Like it's very much a giving type of thing. So you're which, again, on the other side of it, it could also be exhausting. So you don't want to be constantly giving and not give yourself any time to recharge. Burnout is for real. I'm literally just coming off of a month break. I just needed it. You know what I mean? Like I've been going. It's like, I just needed to step back, gave me a chance to work on some back end stuff, being able to hang out with the family and things like that. So it's important to be able to take care of yourself, because it's easy to just sit in front, especially being, mainly confined to our homes and whatnot.
Right.
It's easy to just hop on the PC or whatever and fire up a stream, and then you're going. It's like, for me, I see it very much in terms of quality over quantity. It's not about the amount of times that you're streaming. It's about the quality of the content that you're streaming is what's going to get people to want to come and hang out and stuff like that. So
absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a great point, especially, it's easy to get burnt out. I found myself getting burned out. I love the recording process and getting all prepared, and then they sit down to edit. It's like, God damn it. Yeah, absolutely. But what are kind of your favorite games that you're playing right now? So you said you're a big Overwatch guy. I think
I am.
On your website, you said shooters, but you're not limited to those.
Right. So on stream, typically, I primarily stick to shooters. I'll mess around and play other games and stuff like that. I mean, really, I'm a variety, although I like to kind of dial it in a little more. I love Destiny 2. I've completely, I'm completely back in that. So like, I know for a fact on Tuesdays, I'll be streaming Destiny. I've kind of had the thoughts of, and I'm kind of working on Thursdays, streaming on Facebook and YouTube, just to diversify a little bit, see what kind of audience is over there, see if there's, just kind of gauge the interest and whatnot. And then Fridays are usually Overwatch with friends, just open lobbies. We mess around getting loot boxes, or if we get enough people, we'll do private matches and stuff like that, or other just like kind of community games or games where other people can join. Again, for me, it's just hanging out. It's hanging out, being able to play some video games and you know what I mean? Like, but also having fun. Having fun and having a good time. It's a space where people can just like, hey, I know I can come here and I'm going to have a great time. Other than that, though, on the back end to myself, like Cyberpunk, I just finished Cyberpunk. I typically don't play those on stream because I can't focus enough because I'm chatting and jibber jabbing and then I'm trying to get back to the game. So it's hard for me to actually focus on the game. Although I did finish Detroit Become Human, which was fantastic. I did that completely on stream and that was a lot of fun to do. And then strat games. I absolutely love strategy games. I'm huge into Solaris. Those are my late night. Hey, I'm just editing and that's you know what I mean? Like I'm going to throw on Solaris or whatever. That's my guilty pleasure. I love strategy games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you into like battle royale games at all? That's what I've been big on is Warzone currently. Nope.
I can't do I don't know what it is about battle royale games. It just seems to be so much pressure. And then if you're not doing the right thing, somebody yells at you, random Joe Smo's yelling at you. It's like, I don't need this pressure, man. I'm here to have a good time. Like, get off me. Like, I don't know. I get all nervous and sweat. My palms get all sweaty.
Dude. It'll be late game. There's just don't fuck up. Just don't fuck up. Because I've got a solid group. We've got a solid group of 3, 4, 5 buddies that we've got a rotation we'll play in, and I'm definitely the lower tier of that group. So I'm for real. So I call myself the group guinea pig. Like, okay, I'll run to the buy to try to get you back, or I'll get the most wanted contract or anything, but. Yeah, I've definitely improved like as I've gone, but it's getting tough, man. They just updated with the new Cold War game, so it's like a mixture of the guns from Cold War and Modern Warfare, which is kind of cool, but it's also a couple bugs with that. Like the first couple of days, like people were literally invisible running around, and it's what? And then you can imagine how upset you'd be late game getting killed by an invisible person. It's not fun. Or there was a glitch with the loadout drops where like you would hit it and you just wouldn't be able to move anything. So like you'd have to like pull a car up and try to blow it up and try to knock your teammate down so you can revive them. And then but luckily that's been fixed. I think it is still a game that I think it's still in beta, or like one of those that's not like fully finished. So they're always trying to fix it, which is unfortunate. But do you have like a favorite game of like all time, like one that you could just go back and play whenever and it just never gets old?
I mean, for me right now, I'd have to say it's Overwatch. I can always play Overwatch, dude. Like whether I'm chilling, I'm trying to get sweaty. Overwatch is that game for me. Again, I like, especially as more games are coming out, though. I've noticed that I haven't been playing it as much. I'm a little bored. It has gotten a little stale. Like I wish they would like drop content a little more frequently with like new heroes, building out the lore. We've heard about Overwatch 2. When that's coming, nobody knows. Nobody has heard anything about it since. But I mean, again, that's a game that like I literally is like, look, I'm just gonna get a couple games in real quick. I know I can hop in, play a couple games, hop out, I'm good to go. I would say that and I would say probably Overwatch is dude. Yep. I mean, I've got so many games though, too. I'm not doing a lot of replaying. I'm sitting there my game library is ridiculous. My backlog is so dumb. I will never finish it. But I'm gonna try, damn it. I'm gonna try.
That's all you can do is try, man. How long would you say it takes you to get through like a game? Let's say it's story mode. Is it's like a week, or is that a couple days if you're really grinding it out?
No, see, I don't really, again, I have a 6.5-year-old daughter, and stuff like that. So it's really a lot of it for me is managing my time, because a lot of it is spent, doing work or, all these projects still come at a cost. And that, takes me having to properly prioritize. Again, my girlfriend and I, we have a pretty, solid schedule. If there's something changes, we have to be extra communicative with each other just to make sure, hey, you know, can you get bedtime tonight? Cause I got this thing or whatever. So really a lot of it, you know, and that's what I found was just managing and working with somebody that she understands how much it means to me and what it means to me. You know, so she's always been willing and super helpful and supportive on this journey, which has been huge because I saw the other end of it when somebody is not supportive of what you're doing. And it did not work out. So
absolutely, man. That's huge. And I my girlfriend is the same way. She actually helped me produce one of these live streams I did a couple weeks ago, which was really funny. But I thank her for that, man. So what was your first system as a kid? Like, do you remember like when you started gaming and like started getting really into it?
Absolutely. Not only do I remember, I actually just bought a VCR and I pulled in our Christmas 1989 when I got a Nintendo, and it was fantastic. I relived it the other night. It was amazing. Yeah. I started out with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then PlayStation, and then a kind of a mixture. And it wasn't actually, again, because of streaming, because I was very much a Mac guy. I was like, I don't need a PC.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I realized that it's way easier to game on a PC than it is a Mac. I love Mac for its editing tools and stuff like that, but the PC and being able to change, and like that's when I really started learning more about PC. I don't discriminate though against anything. I am very much like what kind of the stance of Microsoft. Yo, I just want a game. I don't care how I game. I don't care where I game, what I game on. I just want a game.
Right. Anytime, any place, anywhere. That's the motto, man. So what do you have a favorite game from growing up on any one of those systems that really sticks out to you?
For me, and the only reason, so when we were kids, my dad was in the military, right? Okay. And we lived in a tower. And that for that Nintendo, they had gotten a power pad. We lived on an or not the power pad, but what was the track and field thing? Was it the power pad? You know what I'm talking about? It was a mat. It plugged in and you ran on it. You did it for the track. I think it was called the power pad.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do it. We got to do it one time, but our neighbors complained from below us, and we never got to do it again. But that was so much fun. It was amazing. I will never forget that game. That game is a fantastic game. I am enjoying though too on Switch that they're bringing back some of these older school games. I got the Mario 3D or not Mario 3D, the anniversary thing where it came with Mario 64 Galaxy. I never played Galaxy or Sunshine. So I'm kind of, you know what I mean, getting to run through those and then actually play those games. So I've always been a big fan of Nintendo, though. They just have, you know, they do things differently as far as what, you know, they do their own things, and you know, they can be brutal at times. But I very much respect what they do. You know, they're just kind of off on their own sector. Like, look, this is what we're doing. It's going to be fantastic. Look at the Switch sales. The Switch sales have been through the roof. Through the roof.
It's like changed the way it's like it's like a perfect party game type thing. Mm-hmm. You have the little tiny controllers, which my hands are way too big for, but I mean that's not the point. But it's been awesome. Like they have Mario Party, the way they've remastered that has been awesome. Obviously, Mario Kart is super popular as well. But if I'm thinking back, for me, I think my first one was a GameCube. I remember playing going over to my buddy's place and playing the N64. I had a GameCube, but a PS2 that went up to an Xbox 360. I had Xbox. Now I have an Xbox One, so I'm still waiting on that next gen console. But it was interesting, I guess, switching from PlayStation to Xbox 360. I guess that it was more so my age was like kind of what my friend group had is like what more of the dudes at my school had Xboxes. Right. So it's like, all right, the Xbox Live was just becoming a thing and all that. It's like, all right, let's talk or have more options for as many people to talk to as you want. Is there any games you could think of that you would like really want any company to remaster, like off the top of your head?
Oh man, what I would love to see remastered. You know what I want to see remastered? I want to see a remastered new version of Super Dodgeball. I think that have they already done that? I know that I don't think they've done that, right? I'd love to see a remastered version. That game was so much fun as a kid. Who wouldn't enjoy throwing some balls? You know what I mean, in a video game. It was fun. The animations were hilarious. I would love to see a remake of that.
Especially on the Wii, just throwing or just a VR dodgeball. That'd be pretty funny.
I would love that. Well, it's crazy too. Here on the CFG Gamecast, we were talking about our game of the year, and for me, I had to give it up to Animal Crossing. I mean, it came at such a pivotal point in the world's lives. You know what I mean? Like, it just affected the world, and we got to take ourselves out of that moment a little bit, kind of escape the things that they're doing. They're doing runway shows. They've had gift exchanges. You know what I mean? It's like, it's what a crazy game. I mean, it really is a game about nothing, but people got to live these virtual lives and hang out with each other. I couldn't have found a better game to have come out at the time than Animal Crossing last year. And that was my first time that I had ever played an Animal Crossing. I was like, oh, this would be fun. You know, we can play it as a family. And we have, you know what I mean? And dude, I've totally slipped on it. I've totally slacked off. But they still do it. They're on that daily grind. I'm just like, what? Oh, I forgot.
Oh, sorry. Shout out to Tom Nook, Animal Crossing. So that was a perfect transition, man. I was going to ask you, so what are some of like the must play games from this year? Let's say the best games. I know the 2020 Game Awards just happened, and your guy Lucas Egan, part of the Futures class, shout out to him. Yeah. Awesome achievement for you, Lucas. Much deserved. But Last of Us Part 2 ended up winning Game of the Year and grabbing several other awards in the process. Do you agree with that? Is that a game you've played, or are you going a different way?
Yeah. We actually did a spoiler cast for it. I called it though. I knew it was going to win a bunch of awards. I knew it was going to win Game of the Year. It was undeniable for me. Again, I only speak from what I've played. I didn't play Hades. I've heard nothing but great things about Hades though. And then there was what was it? Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? Like that again. That was a game that I've owned the game, but I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting for that PS5 update so I can get them graphics that just blow my eyeballs out. So I'm waiting on that. But I've heard that's fantastic. There was a lot of great games again that came out, and that's kind of why, at least for me, I've always kind of leaned towards PlayStation. Is those exclusives for me? It's all about the games. And the exclusive that they come out with God of War, I mean, if you played that franchise at all, from what it was to what they did on this last one, like amazing. It was amazing. That's the only way I can describe it.
They need to put that on the back of the game in quotes. Blah! Ryan Smith. That's so funny, man. So a game that was kind of popular this year, was very hyped up, a game that you guys featured on your podcast, Cyberpunk 2077. You guys had a couple of the voice actors like Dave Fennoy and Cherami Lee. I don't know if I said the second one.
Jeremy. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you just said you finished it. It's been kind of heavily criticized, after the whole hype up of the release, because it wasn't really finished. There's been problems with the memory and game crashes. Did you have any rough experiences with that game?
Other than some hilarious bugs, there's a couple of times where it just bombed out on me. It was pretty minimal for me. I think a lot of it is on the console side of things, which is really disappointing. Again, this game has been hyped up. Everybody has been hyped up. And I said this before, and they said this, that they weren't going to release the game till it was done. So it's disappointing in the fact that it's like, this was done to you? This was what? Did you look at it? Did you play it? Like, what are you talking about? Right. Come on, man. I feel like, and again, I feel like this is, they shouldn't have buckled to the internet hate. I feel like they were getting those pressures. I saw this meme where it shows people, they're like, give us the game. Don't delay it. How dare you? All right, here's the game. What the heck is this? It's all buggy and not done. It's like, well, What are they supposed to do? I said it. I didn't think it was going to come out. I thought they were going to push it back to 2021. When they did that last delay, I was like, that was kind of funky. I've never seen you know what I mean? Like this thing got the green light, the go ahead. You've made it official, and then a couple days or a little bit out the before it's supposed to release, you got to pull them back for another 3 weeks. It's like, man, make sure your stuff is like, you guys need more time. Take the time. You know what I mean? Right. I'd rather people be upset about that than now you've got a game where, I mean, it got played or it got pulled off a PlayStation store. That's huge, you know what I mean, audience that now is no longer able to get this game. Well, they can still get physical copies, but they can't get it digitally. But again, that's due to the fact that it was basically unplayable. The fact that the graphics, they look like Polygon, like what is this, dude? Like, what is that? These are AAA games. Like, when did the precedence of AAA games go to, hey, we're just going to throw this out there? Not really a complete game. We'll fix it later as we go on. People are paying a premium for this stuff, and I feel like this is where things get a little dangerous in those respects. Is that the expectation, especially from a AAA game, should be that we get a complete game, not something that you're going to work on and try to build as we go. And it's like, in that case, make it $30 then and say, hey, this ain't really done, but we're going to work on it. You know, they have early access things and stuff like that. So that was disappointing. The other big thing that was disappointing in those respects with Cyberpunk was the fact that, and again, I have a friend that, she has seizures and things like that. And is actually the co-host, one of the co-hosts on the Gamecast, Lex. CFG. And there was absolutely no warning of any kind of flashing lights or any kind of epilepsy warning in any other game I could think of. That is like the first screen that pops up. They buried it in the license agreement. Now I don't know about you guys,
read
but
that shit.
Nobody reads it. Nobody
scroll.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that felt like it's like, what do you like? Why would you not warn people of that? That is, I mean, that was intense. There's some intense moments, and that game is very vivid. There's vibrant colors, this and that. So like, it's like I'm looking at it just like, holy crap, man! Like, this could, it's like, I was like, I don't remember there being any kind of warning about, cause like, this is intense. So the fact that they had to backtrack and then they threw out that update for that was, man, you hate to see it, especially something that's been hyped up so much, but this has definitely been a very, very bumpy road for them. I don't know that you recover from this. How do you recover from again, I'm a guy that No Man's Sky, I had it day one. I took it on a road trip from New York back to Vegas. That's how much I was anticipating this game.
Had to get it.
On some just straight crappy Wi-Fi, hotel Wi-Fi, or we were at a hotel or something, dude. And it was terrible. Now, just like, this is nothing like what I thought it was going to be. There was nothing. That was not going to be anything, and it was just boring. It wasn't what they said it was going to be. I love the fact that they just won Best Ongoing, because the changes that they made from day one to now are crazy. The difference, though, is that their game was still playable. Okay, and that is the big difference, because there's aspects and there's people that cannot play Cyberpunk because it's not playable. So how you go about, I don't know, man. It was just disappointing. It was disappointing in those respects. Again, I thought the story was fantastic, or at least how the ending went for me. I still think that it's worth playing. Do you need to get it now? I would wait.
Yeah. Do you attribute did they move up the release? Like, do you attribute it just because of the hype around the game, that they were kind of just like, hey, we need to get this out and see what it is?
Well, I mean, I don't know what happened, because again, from going to, we're not going to release this until this is done, to, hey, I know that we just pushed this back, we're going to do this, but then releasing something with a ton of bugs, something that graphically you can't even pass as a video game.
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? That had to have gone through a ton of people's eyes, I would imagine. So it was either just a lack of caring or serious oversight, which I doubt. So to me, again, this is where when you get that gaming space and you get the business space, they're intertwining, they're becoming more and more involved. You start gaming, I feel like very much is about community, hanging out with people, this and that, where business can be very cold, calculated, and I don't think they always mesh well together when they're making decisions. And I don't think that some of these companies realize how much that affects them, unless it affects their pocketbooks, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. It probably came down to more of the moolah at the end of the day. Let's move on a little bit here. We'll talk about some of the games. Actually, there's a huge shakeup, in the console game this year, I should say. You've been mentioning it, the Xbox, the Series X and the Series S, and then the PlayStation 5. So I think you've established yourself as a PlayStation guy. Am I correct?
Yeah, I've never owned an Xbox, and let me tell you, once I clean the pulp off my face. Why did I get orange juice with pulp in it? Yeah, I never really got on Xbox because I hated the controller, and this was something from the original Xbox, and I just never gave it a chance after that. So I always went with PlayStation. Again, I'm glad I did because they had the exclusives. I like the controller better and stuff like that. But I'm at a point now where I don't really care what it's on. I just want to play the game. I don't care how, again, it goes back to that mentality. And I feel like Microsoft is a lot further in those respects in gaming than PlayStation is. Again, we saw Sony buy into Xbox so they can get access to their cloud gaming infrastructure and stuff like that. At this point, it's too late for Sony to try to do something now. They're already behind on the game. So that made sense in far those respects. You see more cross-play gaming now, which I never thought I would ever see. I love it. I love, what I mean? Like you see these, again, this is where I have a respect for like a Fortnite, where Fortnite has really caused these other innovations and people trying things out. And it's really had such an effect on video gaming and how we game and how we're able to game together. I have Xbox Game Pass. I don't need I don't need an Xbox.
Yeah,
I've got Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I got a PS5. I did get a PS5. I'm good on an Xbox. Maybe I'll get one at some point in time, but
right.
For me, it's very much what I love. What Microsoft did though was that they give you two different versions. They gave you one that's going to be a very consumer friendly price that a lot of people and this is where I feel like, again, Nintendo has kind of excelled, is that they're just like, look, we're getting units into people's hands, not having to go overboard or going crazy on the price. So I thought it was really smart of Microsoft to offer this consumer-friendly model. And then they've got their big boy that's going to do the heavy lift for those that have some extra change to throw around and whatnot. So, I love them all. I love video games.
Yeah. So are you mainly gaming on your PS5, but are you usually on your PC?
As of right now, I've primarily been on my PC, mainly because I'm playing Cyberpunk. The other thing too was I got into the Amazon Luna, their beta thing. Okay. So I can now play at least my Ubisoft games and whatever's on Luna, I can play it on my Fire TV in the bedroom. So I've been doing a little bit of that, and that's where the PlayStation 5 is. That's the only, other than this 4K TV here, that's the only other 4K TV in the house is in the bedroom. So like, not only that, but it also gives me time to, you know what I mean? Hey, I could just be in bed and play video games. We got one of them beds that like, it has some motorized thing and stuff like that. Like, look, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't play around. Yeah, I like to relax. When I relax hard.
Dude, take notes, everybody. If you are looking to relax and have a good time, Smitty2447 has got you covered. So are there any games that you're kind of looking forward to next year? Any releases that they've announced that you're kind of like you're getting ready to smash that pre-order button?
You know, it's funny that you say that because there really isn't anything. And let me say to people too, don't fall into the hype. Don't get from like scalpers or anything like that. Really, right now, even having a PS5, I have barely played it. I'm going through Spider-Man right now. And then I've got Miles Morales. That's like the first official game. And I got Cold War as well. Sorry. But like that was, I got a physical copy of Morales. And there's not really that many games out that are that I would say, yes, you absolutely need this right now. Wait, let them flesh some things out. The inventory is going to be there soon enough. You guys are not missing much. Let me tell you right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. You know, it's great. And I got to say though, the controller is fantastic. That to me is probably the biggest thing so far that I'm just like, this controller, like you pick up a gun, you feel the weight of the gun when you're pulling the trigger and stuff like that in Cold War. It's crazy. It is crazy. But yeah, there's not really anything. I'm sure there's some titles that they've talked about. I know that, and I don't know if that's even going to be a next year thing. Obviously, the second part to the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'll be waiting for that to come out whenever they announce that stuff. I'm trying to think. Just Deathloop. Deathloop was a game that I will pre-order. Just it seems like an interesting concept, different. I love the art style of it as well. But as far as like AAA games, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. There's not really a lot that I'm just like, and I know there's been some like people have talked about Dragon Age. I never really played any of the Dragon Ages. I have Inquisition, but I never even got through it. I'm mainly focused on the games that I need to finish. I still need to finish Metal Gear Solid 5, Death Stranding. I need to run through the Telltale Walking Dead series. You know what I mean? So like my focus is like, I've got too many games. Like, please stop with all the good games. Let me catch up a little bit.
It's like me on Netflix, bro. I feel like every time I open that, it's just overwhelmingly amount of new shit to watch, or just like there's just so much content from everywhere, just always being just thrown. So right. I definitely feel that. But you mentioned the controller. Do you like it more because of this two sticks or the same level? Is that why you didn't like the Xbox controller? Because I got a buddy that hates that the Xbox controller sticks are different.
It's funny because the Amazon Luna controller, actually, I think I might have it. Yeah. I totally have it here. The Amazon Luna controller is the same way.
Okay.
Very
okay.
Similar. Yeah.
It looks exactly like an Xbox controller. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a little smaller. So like I find now that before, obviously my hands, I was just younger and I never really gave it a chance. After that, my excuse was always that it had a big ass controller, and it did. The original Xbox controller was ridiculously big. I'm sure they changed it and made it feel better, but I never gave it a chance. After that. But yeah, I mean that was really the reason why. Did I answer that? I kind of sorry. My daughter came over here.
No, you're good, man. I see that she's probably ready for you. So I got a couple questions, a couple more, then we'll close this out.
Yeah, no worries.
Speaking of your daughter, so one thing I always like to do on this show. So I'm a dad. You're a dad. I always like to highlight that a little bit. So my son's only 9 months old. You said your daughter's 6.5, so you got a lot more experience in that department than I do. Do you have any advice for like a new dad or maybe a newer dad as far as stepping up in that role or stuff to look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, again, have fun with it. Cause the baby stages were weird for me. Cause I'm like, what the hell do I do with it? So I always felt very awkward in that stage. I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm doing this like, but again, for me, it was just enjoy that time. Being able to enjoy those experiences. I know, especially in the moment, it's just like, it is what it is, but they grow up so fast. It's crazy. Next thing you know, you got a normal human being talking back to you like, whoa, you need to take it easy over there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, communication. Communication is key in everything. As long as you guys are on the same page, work those things out, form a plan, be united as a team in trying to raise a good person. That's kind of the way that we've taken it.
Right. That's awesome. It's so funny. Cause I'll get to the point where it's just like, You're playing, like, we're fine. I'm right next to you. We're watching the game. It's cool. Like, you're not. Like, what do you need? Come on. But he's, he's
me.
come on. But so I'm on my daddy daycare stuff every day, man. So it's been very fun. We get our good 2 naps in every day. That's always fun.
Yes.
Come on, dude. It's 6. Let's go back to sleep for a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Yeah. But
get to sleep. Get all the sleep you can.
No, that's definitely the most important. But do you have a favorite part about being a dad that you can point to?
Yeah. Just having this just having this little person that again is she brings out the best in me.
Yeah.
And just you never really know how much you can care about another person until until you're a parent. And just seeing that and just being able to experience it and take it all in, making those memories, doing things that, maybe you didn't have the chance to do when you were a kid. You know what I mean? But it's also important too that, or at least I feel that you're also still a person. Mm-hmm. So you can't just get lost in that role. You also have to make sure that you're satisfying yourself and doing things that are going to keep you healthy, because that's how then you're able to put out and be able to push out good and positive vibes and stuff like that to other people.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's so well said. So she looks like she's ready for you, man. I will get you out of here. Ryan Smith, Smitty2447. I want to thank you so much for joining me, man. This was an awesome time. Love talking video games with you, or just anything in general, man. You made me crack up. A lot of quotable lines. I cannot wait to clip this up, put out some of these video clips, and the audio will be out later tonight. I'm going to grind and get that editing done as much as I do not want to, but we're going to do it. We're going to get it done. Our special, I guess not really Christmas episode, but the week of Christmas episode, it's here. Is there anything that you want to plug? Lan Parties, CFG Gamecast, Twitch, anything like that?
Absolutely. So right now, one thing I wanted to mention as well, we just found out that from the Asian American Podcasting Association, we were nominated for an award for that, which I believe is happening on the 28th or 29th. Thank you very much. So that's super exciting. Again, you can find me Tuesdays and Fridays on Twitch, Smitty2447. I'm Smitty2447 on all the socials. Hit me up, Instagrams, the YouTubes, the Twitters, all of them things. That's where you can find me. And again, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. This was awesome. I'm glad we were able to. I know we've been friends and stuff like that on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, but to actually be able to speak face to face and whatnot, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So you're a recurring guest now. So whenever I ask, you got to come back on.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. Anytime. I'm down.
Anytime. I'd love to get you and Lucas on together. I think that would be a fun episode, which we'll get that coordinated here in a few months, maybe. But Ryan, this has been awesome. You're a Bears fan, right? Is that correct?
I am a Bears fan. Let's go, baby.
Let's go Bears. We're still in the hunt. We're in the hunt. But it always cracks me up seeing Lucas tweet like living and dying with the Packers every Sunday.
With a passion. I just sit there and I don't even say anything to him. I just look just like
There's no way you can be this upset about a team that has performed that well. But let's get this over with. Ladies and gentlemen, episode number 43 of the Brew Party Podcast. Live stream available now on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. On YouTube, just search The Brew Party. On Periscope, at The Brew Party. Then on Facebook, at The Brew Party Podcast. And then you'll be able to find us. We'll be penetrating your ears, the podcast, the audio version, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all of that good stuff. I'm Andy Hopper. This is The Brew Party Podcast. Thank you so much to Ryan Smith, Smitty2447. We're out of here.